from a place of being very present and here, I start to see and feel the flame of transcendence that's coming for this time that we are together. In prayer, we can humble our ego, our mind, and once we invoke prayer from the Sacred Heart, the ego has no room and the liver will back off from the stomach because it's just the liver trying to control the organs. My main aim, I know, that comes in is to share innate functioning that is already happening in the body, but once we come on board consciously utilising our innate functioning, it supports our awakening. Not only to go into the stillness, oneness, but for the ascension part of awakening, which is the divine essence filling every cell in the body. And a few years ago I tasted the supreme consciousness for X amount of seconds. And my aim is delightfully to share the supreme. And dance wherever you need to dance, like a beautiful crochet, picking up the hook and bringing it all the way home to the supreme. Because I know, as a direct experience, we are that already. And for many lifetimes, we can know that. For many lifetimes. Yet to be able to actually action the divine knowing. A lot of teachers will advocate we do not do. And yes, in a sense, we do not do. Yet in another sense, consciousness can play consciously supporting our awakening, which is unfolding our innate capacities. What I do know is the supreme essence is actually calling very particular beings to awaken in a very short span of time. And there's pulses of opportunity. This year is a sun year, and that means that the conglomerate of the purest of pure angelic energy is touching, kissing, loving all humanity and all life on Mother Earth as an aided coming together. As we prepare the body energetically, we do work on the ancestral line. And the energy will stream through from our ancestors, what have been and what is to come. We're in the present. We're riding the seamlessness of timelessness within time. And it opens and closes, opens and closes. It opens precisely as your presence will open you, drop you in, taste, transcend, back to awareness. So as you're listening, you will be taken to different places already. And where you touch upon is like a divine orchestration. We were talking today about the lower the higher possibilities, the lower the indifferent higher possibility. And in any given moment, we are under the sacred Trinity law. And it's not out of a judgment. Lower has no difference to the higher. It's just a plane of different essence to create a learning platform and a capacity to gauge our response. As we respond, our chakras open and the divine energy can flow more through, just like that. We all know when we're in a dense energy and how the continuing of the density energy, then we really feel it in our mind, our emotional body, our energetics. If we go into the indifferent, there's a lighter essence. There's a real casual energy. When we go into the higher possibility, the chakras have opened. The chakras are just simply like irises. They close and open to the light of the response of your presence. It's such a simple yet very clever design. Watch the habits of pushing, trying. Let go of I don't know, I can't. As a few key words. Embrace surrender, embrace allow, embrace willingness beyond willing. Because in the energy release you will meet energies that are uncomfortable and beyond yourself. And the opportunity is to be willing when you're not willing. That's when it starts to play. Where do we get the courage? In willing, beyond willing. Where do we get the trust? Trust when there's no rhyme or reason to trust. And all of you know the sacred heart within. All of you. How often do you remain there? How many breaths in one day escape that sacred presence, our natural essence? How many times in one day do we entertain ourselves in the mind? Sometimes we're just used to walking down the river and the same path. And as we're setting up new pathways, I'm very happy to use the word vigilant. Because there is a divine lining up, and it's okay to call upon the divine within you for the strength, the courage, the trust. Humbled be the prayer that spontaneously flows. Humbled. Humbled when we say to our own body, I love you. Humbled when we call upon the supreme nectar and allow that essence to simply permeate every cell and bask. Just bask and rest there. It's the most easiest place to take every breath. And it's very easy to spend lifetimes in these little finery patterns of almost home, of almost. It edges on duality, the higher aspects of duality. It becomes a very nice life. complacent life. And we have to be aware of edging on that nice, complacent. In our comfort zones. And we know when we're starting to stagnate, the yearning comes back. Yearning to come home. And it's so magnificent in that that yearning will never go until you're home. Such a divine creation. Because otherwise we'd just be complacent. We wouldn't bother. We really wouldn't. We'd be very happy with higher end of duality, a nice life, a few roller coasters here and there. The mind has a vested interest in keeping itself as the front stage. And it's designed to actually be a platform simply to land and stream presence. We all know when we're in the zone, we all know that space when presence is just streaming through. It's so beautiful. That's where I invite you to live in every breath. No effort, no trying. Surrendering, gently, lovingly, gracefully, sweetly, softly. You might see different little sort of movies happening of where an impression pressed upon your energetic, for whatever reason, doesn't matter. Once you've brought your attention to it, touch on it lightly and let it go. Love it. We no longer need to go right in. Our conscious presence has a vibrational level, vibrational capacity to touch and burn. As we surrender further and further into presence. The art of listening as an empty space. And yes, the mind waves in and out. It can be just a light whisper. You do not need to allow it to take center stage anymore. If you find the volumes turned up, surrender into awareness, bring more attention into your awareness. It's simply an attention shift, a natural shift, a shift we do in particular moments in time, yet consciously shifting regularly back. Then we start to pulse from the energy of presence. It starts to anchor us, prepare the central nervous system for full awakening.